Hi, my name is Goran Nitai, and I would like to share with you the story of how I became a monk. And a lot of people are wondering, dude, you're a monk? What went wrong? But I can say without blinking that it is one of the best decisions I've taken in my life. So I would like to share with you my story. When I was a small boy, my family took me to Egypt for a cruise down the Nile, visiting various temples and seeing culture and monuments and stuff like that. And I remember finding myself surrounded by hieroglyphs in this dusty and mystical atmosphere of an ancient temple, standing at the feet of a majestic pharaoh, and wondering what it must have been like to have been the Prince of Egypt. And while dreaming myself away, there was a tour guide who stepped up on my side and announced that Ramses II has been dead for approximately 3,200 years. I remember thinking to myself, wow, 3,200 years. That's a very long time. That must really be boring. That must really be monotonous. That must really be empty. To be non-existent for 3,200 years. And then it dawned on me, well, hey, at one point, I will have been dead for 3,200 years. I wonder what that must be like. That's how I got thinking. And I still remember the feeling of confusion, and it's practically that's how I encountered my first existential crisis, you may say. 6 years later, I find myself in high school, where my English teacher is introducing me and my classmates to the author George Orwell. And for those of you who have read the 1984, you know that it is quite a morbid presentation of a civilization which is dominated by thought control and surveillance, material indoctrination. And I remember looking out at contemporary society we're living in and seeing a lot of parallels. And that got me thinking once again, how much do I just want to go along? How much can I align myself with the values of modern society? What is actually the criterion of success in my life? Do I just live to take an education, get a job, earn money, and contribute to a society in which I basically don't have a lot of faith? So I decided to buy myself some time. So I did military service for 4 months, where I got a little distance to my old circle and my usual surroundings. And in that period, I did something very good. I started reading a lot of books. I set myself a goal to read 1 book a week. So I got a lot of good habits. I got myself in shape. I got some self-discipline. I cut out a lot of noise and a lot of ignorance from my life. And returning from the military, then I got myself a job for Amnesty International. So I was going around on the streets in Copenhagen and signing up members, fighting for human rights and trying to convince people. And I remember talking to a couple of young guys and seeing out of the corner of my eye, suddenly a monk. A monk in downtown Copenhagen, Shopping Street. What the hell is he doing there? Completely out of place. But he got me fascinated. So I went and talked to him. And I said, hey, so who are you and what are you up to? And he started explaining me about his life and about his personal beliefs. And he had been practicing this process of ancient yoga and meditation for more than 40 years. And he seemed so satisfied, he seemed so content, so happy with the choice that he had taken in his life. And I remember that he said to me, your happiness and your well-being in life depends not so much on your external surroundings as your consciousness, your state of mind. And simultaneously, the impact that you are going to make in this world depends also not so much on your talents, on your skills, as much as your consciousness, your state of mind. So the best investment that you can possibly make, young man, he told me, is to invest in refining your consciousness. That stuck with me. And soon after, I moved into a temple and I dedicated myself to the practice of meditation, introspection, yoga, and studies of ancient Eastern wisdom. And now I've been living in a temple for the last 7 years and thriving, very happy with that. It might not necessarily be the right thing for everyone, but it's definitely the right thing for me. And having come to the realization that my life is all about consciousness. So my behavior and the choices that I make, everything that I do is an expression of my state of mind. So if I, as an individual, change my consciousness, simultaneously, automatically I will change my behavior. Just as if I move from here to over here, then my shadow will move with me. Just as that is true for the individual, it is also true for the broader society. So consciousness is the building blocks of our civilization. And so if we, as the individuals who make up the collective, if we can change our consciousness, then we can also change the values of modern society. We can change the future of mankind, not by electing another political leader, but by changing the consciousness of the masses. So that's why I became a monk, dedicating myself to that purpose. My name is Goran Itai, and thank you for watching.